All right, just saw this for the first time. This is insane.
Crazy. It's crazy.
It's a wall.
Window.
It's a wall of cars.
Yeah.
It's a wall of P cars and other rare things.
Right here.
Oh my god.
Split window. Was that GT4 came in or came in? 356?
Two 356s.
Yeah.
At the top. And what is that? A Datsun? Bluebird?
1600 plus.
Oh, nice. This is so cool.
The twins right here, that one's red and one's white, are a father and daughter that race with our team. So they have matching cars.
Oh, how cute.
Yeah.
That is amazing. This is so cool. Definitely a nondescript building. Like, you wouldn't expect this is in here. I definitely like the variety. Oh, that Buick though. That Buick is, oh, this is so, oh, it's amazing. It's so clean. Can you introduce yourself?
I'm Andy Kilcoyne, I'm the general manager here at Kelly Moss. We try to take badass cars and make them more badass. Do a lot of restorations, do a lot of custom builds. Some bolt-on pieces, a lot of custom parts. We do all our own composite work in-house here, all our engine work, gearbox work, you know, full paint and body, everything start to finish on building a custom car.
Race shop in this area where we work on the race cars. So kind of what's happened is in the last few years, Kelly Moss has been racing since 1988, and in the last few years, what used to happen is when the team would go out to the track, the shop would basically be completely empty. And paying attention to profitability and trying to diversify, what we decided to do was really start to focus on our projects. So now the team goes out to the track and we're all still here working pretty hard. So we're really heavily focused on the projects now, which didn't used to be the case. So this used to be the race shop where the race cars were repaired. Actually, just a couple of years ago, those 3 lifts weren't here, and now there's just constant overflow. This whole area used to be rented by someone else. We took it over, we do our projects in there, and so we've grown almost double in size in the last 2 years just with the projects. So a lot going on.
I love that there's just such a diverse kind of, like, you got different cars littered around everywhere, like that Datsun Roadster is super impressive too. I just from looking at it from here, I'm like, oh my god, it's so cool.
This is a 993 RSR. It's a KMR creation. It's a full carbon bodied car, carbon brakes. It went from an air-cooled 4-liter, we're doing a conversion right now, to a 4-liter RSR water-cooled engine. The amount of time, effort, and love that's been put into this car is just absolutely unbelievable.
Look at that. I couldn't even imagine how much all of this. This is a customer car, though.
This is a customer car.
What is all this rear suspension actually from?
Some of it is custom built by Kelly Moss.
Yeah.
Some of it is RSR original Porsche stuff.
Look at the floor. Alright, so if you can introduce yourself again, so
I'm Andy Kilcoyne, general manager at Kelly Moss.
this is the crazy guy.
We like to do fun stuff.
Jeez.
I don't know if those are gonna stop it. I mean, how much does this car weigh? I don't know if those are gonna be able to stop it. That's
sure
like
I can pick it up.
yeah. I don't know if that's a serious enough brake.
Yeah, we've got there's probably 30 or 40 hours of runtime on the car since it was originally built. Every time it comes back, it goes through some new iteration of crazy. It weighs about 2,100 pounds. So I mean, it's a pretty amazing piece of technology.
I've been to a lot of shops, but this is just such a... It's so cool the way you guys laid it out, and I can't imagine how busy it gets here during the off-season when all the race cars are here. It's got to be insane.
For sure. That's how the whole racking system evolved, because there's just basically no floor space, no place to work.
Yeah.
The floor looks a little barren in here right now, but the race shop packed up and we left to go testing, so there's some gaps in the floor. But yeah, once all the transporters are back here and the transport area is full, the cars are here, and as you can imagine, 4 sets of wheels times as many race cars as we have, there's hundreds of wheels and tires and all kinds of stuff around here. So it's pretty crazy stuff.
let's check out the other room. This isn't the only room.
Sure.
You guys go for this?
So this car belongs to Dan, who's our service manager here, which is it's kind of a neat story. He was in a bit of a fender bender, and wasn't in a budgetary situation where he could afford to do a full restoration on it, and insurance obviously isn't as helpful as it can be on something of this vintage because they don't see the values like we do. So he came in and started doing some sweat equity and helped tearing it down and doing some grunt work on it. And once the car was done, then that turned into he loved it so much he just wanted to come here and put some effort in for free. And then at a certain point we figured we better pay him. So we hired him as a service manager, and he's been a great addition to the team.
Thing is, I've always wanted one of these. I have a 240Z.
Okay.
But like these are just so. I don't know. It's just one of those things. Like I feel like you need to own one at one point if you're like a real Datsun Nissan fan.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
for sure.
but
And it's hard to find one that's not.
Look at this. This light bar is crazy. Yeah, it's so cool. Is it
hard to find
original
one
motors?
Yeah.
Oh, super cool. That's pretty clean. I love these things.
It's a driver. I mean, he puts miles on it. He drives it.
Well, I mean, with the light bar in front, I mean, I would hope he drives this thing. I think it's so cool. We didn't even make it to the other side yet.
No, we're stalled out pretty hard.
This car won the LMP3 championship in 2017. Driven by Colin Thompson. He's out of was in Miami.
So this is not going to campaign this year?
Nope. Colin's trying to figure out what he wants to do. They changed the format on how LMP3 works, and budgetary wise, the series got incredibly expensive.
I love how this is in the same room as, look over there. It's just like such a contrast. Plus, like, you got all these old like Broncos that they're restoring. That's super cool.
Broncos are hot, you know that, I'm sure.
Yeah, they're especially with the new one coming back,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, it's just so cool. All these toys. What else? It's like, you guys said
It's $9.15 for full.
So it's like, they call in, okay, this is their track day, we want to do, you bring it, everything's ready to go, they just jump in and drive it.
Yeah, we do absolutely everything from setup and logistics to booking their hotel rooms.
Yeah.
And, absolutely everything. They have to get themselves to the airport, and we handle it from there.
Must be nice.
Hey, everyone.
Yeah.
These look familiar.
Oh yeah, these are 652s, right?
Yeah.
This one we had.
An outlaw, man.
This one we had at the PRI show. This car was actually sent to us to be built into a rally car. It's a 94 964. So it's a naturally aspirated C4 wide body. They only made 156 of them, and we convinced them that they weren't allowed to cut this car up because it was too rare, and it was too nice, to be honest. So we did a rotisserie restoration on it. Put it back together to be a nice driver. The exterior's done. We're gonna do a bunch of custom interior work to it now. They've decided. So it's a really cool car. We get a lot of compliments on this one.
Wow. This paint is phenomenal on this car. Yeah. I have a black car that I sprayed myself. The paint.
Are you sure it doesn't look like this?
It's like my reflection if I'm looking at a black orange on my car.
This is so cool. Oh, the interior is so clean. I just turned the corner and we were talking about Z's, and now they have this complete restoration. Am I right? What are you guys doing to this Z?
So, story with this one is one of our other racing clients, his father won 2 national championships in showroom stock back in the late 70s. And he had come across the original car that his dad won championships in. It was just, it'd been used on the street and it was rotten and just unfortunately didn't fit the bill. We found this car. It's a 17,000 mile donor car.
Oh my gosh.
With all the...
It's so clean.
It is. I mean, there's 0 rot on it. It's a really, really nice car, so a nice platform to start with. So we're doing a color change on it, taking it back to what he remembers his father's car being like, and using as many parts as we can off the original car just to kind of keep the theme on it. But yeah, full mechanical rebuild on it and a color change.
I don't even know what to say right now. This thing is so cool.
Where did they find this thing?
We found this one in Nebraska. Guy had maintenance records on it back to new. He bought it new, and he was the first owner on it, and basically never drove it. And just a nice, clean car.
It's very cool.
4-speed car. Right now, we put the 5-speed in it. The maybe less than legal showroom stock national championship car had.
So, but it's a 280Z dash?
It's a 280.
Oh,
it's a 78 280. 76 280, sorry.
Awesome. So cool.
That goes back, man. We need to go looking for cars in Nebraska.
I know, right?
Yeah, we were talking about California cars being good.
Yeah.
Nah.
Well, because California cars, it's like, all right, no rust or it doesn't snow, so they just leave the cars out, right? Well, if you have something like this, you just keep it in the garage and keep it really clean. And then you end up with something like this.
What is the average of that? 17,000 miles? So since 1978, how many miles do you drive a year?
1976.
6.
That's very few miles. It's really bright in here.
A couple things we're waiting on, some machine parts to come back. We got a couple of Porsche engines that are going together. The big block just got done. A couple other Porsche engine projects that are starting here.
These are so neat. Look at all these. Look how everything's labeled and everything. For me, if I take something apart and put it back together again and have extra bolts, I just throw the bolts away and just hope that it still works. None of that happens here. Yeah, so the crazy thing to me about this car, honestly, is that it was on the showroom floor, and then the day after the show was over, I was driving this thing in the dunes, off-road. It was just so crazy. And then now, look, a couple months afterwards, we're gonna drive this in the snow.
She's a working girl, man.
Yeah, and they added these rock crawling lights. Yeah. Love it. So glad that you guys are this crazy.
Is it loud inside? Dude, it sounds like the supercharger's literally.